I'm Andy Aicklen, principal of Aicklen and Associates. There are a lot of books out there on leadership. We keep it simple. We show you a framework for leadership, and we base it on Sir Ernest Shackleton, one of the greatest leaders of all time. When we were first formulating our workshop, I was very fortunate to meet a best-selling author, Margot Morale, and she is one of the most well-known authors on Ernest Shackleton. And that was a good starting point for launching our workshops. Our Enterprise Leadership Workshop is a modern-day approach to the Shackleton expedition of 1914. We're showing you a framework for leadership. If you see how he did it, if you understand how he did it under the most difficult conditions, freezing temperatures, ice melting underneath you, ship is gone, how do you lead in a situation like that? If you see how one person did it, and you can learn from that, maybe you'll learn some things in your daily life in terms of how you deal with certain types of personalities. How do you make the impossible possible? That's what this is all about. We create your own expedition. We do team building exercises. For instance, we have one that's, who's in your boat? Well, there was a point in time in the expedition where Shackleton had to take 27 men and put them on 3 boats to cross the open sea. And he had to choose which physicians to put in this boat, what carpenters, what seamen, who are the troublemakers. He had to determine all this. It's very difficult. And he did it, and everybody got across safely. Our workshop is an expedition in itself. It's an exciting replica. Maybe they'll think differently tomorrow about their teams than they did today. In the case of Ernest Shackleton, here he is for 2 years stuck on the ice, trapped in the ice on a ship. He could very easily retreat and get away from his men and do nothing. What he did was step out in front of them every day and taking the first step as the leader. And everybody looked to him, and they all felt better about the day and how they were going to survive this situation. Well, as leaders or managers, we're always trying to build effective teams, even if they're unstructured teams, partners, internal, external, customers. How do we build these teams and make the most out of them? It's very difficult to do that without the right approach and with the right personality. So we show you a framework to how to properly do that on a daily basis. You've got to find a way to communicate effectively both to the individual and to the teams. And the teams could be extremely diverse. We could do all these other things. We can communicate effectively, we could build teams properly, but if we don't drive a positive outcome, it could be all for naught. You need to achieve something that may not seem possible today. That's the ultimate goal. That's what Shackleton was all about. So Ernest Shackleton, there he was on the ice. Ship had sunk. He came out, he communicated to his team. He said, "Men, now we go home." That was his goal. That was the positive outcome he was trying to achieve, and he did. It took many, many months, it took over a year to get home, but he did it, and he did it successfully. The value comes from the fact that you're taking your team out of their normal day-to-day world and you're immersing them in this story. It's exciting, it's fun learning about Ernest Shackleton. And like anything like this, if you could take away 2 or 3 very strong learnings, you've reflected on your own leadership capabilities based on what you learned from Shackleton. It's an unbelievable experience. Your entire team will leave at the end of the day with different mindset about leadership, new ideas that they can try the next day.